Chapter 18. Unexpected Help. I was walking along Gergely Utca very slowly, feeling as if I wanted to die. I wasn't looking where I was going. I was looking down at the ground, lost in my thoughts. Suddenly, when I got to the corner of the street, I walked into somebody. "Sorry," I said, looking up. I saw it was someone like me I was looking at. It was my doppelganger again. We looked into each other's eyes, and then he lifted his arm and pointed his finger. I looked where he was pointing, and I could see two small people at the end of the dark street. One was a woman, and one was a child. I couldn't believe my eyes. "Andrea!" I shouted. "Kotti!" As I started to run towards them, I looked back at the man. There was no one there. We all three ran to each other and held each other for a long time. "Oh, thank goodness," I said at last. I thought you were—" "Shh," said Andrea, putting her hand over my mouth. "And we would be, but for your friend." "What friend?" I asked. "Zsolt?" "No, John," she said, laughing. "Your doppelganger." I stood with my mouth open. "What on earth do you mean?" And so Andrea explained to me what had happened. I walked round to the bar with Kotti, ready to help while Zsolt was away at the doctor's. Zsolt was already standing in the street when I got there. He told me there was no one in the bar, and so we stood talking in the street for a few minutes. Then he got into his car and went off to take his mother to the doctor's. When I turned round to go down to the bar, I saw you standing in front of the entrance. I called your name and asked you what you wanted. But you said nothing, and I tried to go down into the bar. You didn't move. I asked you to get out of the way, but you didn't. And then Kotti started crying. I asked her what the matter was. "See what you've done now, John? You've made her cry," I said to you. Kotti was crying and shaking her head. "Not Daddy," she said. "Not Daddy." I looked at the man in front of me again, as carefully as I could in the dark winter light, and then I realized it must be your doppelganger. The coat was different. It looked old-fashioned. Suddenly, I remembered what it had said about doppelgangers in that book you'd brought home. It can sometimes be seen by somebody close if it has an important message. As I looked, the man pointed down the street. I looked where he was pointing. There was nothing. I looked at the man and asked him what he meant. Again, the man pointed down the street. And finally I understood that he wanted me to go away. So I did. I walked home. When we got home, Kotti fell asleep on the sofa. While she was sleeping, I made some tea. Suddenly, I heard a loud noise like a bomb from somewhere outside. It sounded quite far away. It took me some time to wake Kotti and get her dressed again, and we came to see what had happened. Of course, I was really afraid that you had been in the bar, John. We looked at each other as we reached the outside door of the block of flats where we lived. "This is a very strange story," I said. "It certainly is," said Andrea. "You must write it down." "I will," I said. And we went inside and shut out the night.